Welcome back to Kaleidoscope Literacy. I messed up my scheduling, which is not surprising because severely disabled. Yay! So this is a reaction, so this is only going to be on my YouTube channel. So yeah, you should subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'm going to do reactions. And the podcast is going to be only focused on the full reviews. So yeah, welcome to my reaction. It's like a reaction to my first reaction, my first recorded reaction to a book that I said the wrong title to. I've been talking about this book for a while, and it's kind of a dystopian fiction, which is why my background is this, and this is why my avatar is a little different. I might keep this avatar, honestly. I like it better than the original avatar. Playing around with it. I said its title was called The Arrival. It's The Getaway. I misspoke the title of the book. Thank you. Poor memory. I don't know if I should blame my anxiety or my depression on it. Or my ADHD, which is not diagnosed yet, but it's close enough. So yeah, the title of the book is called The Getaway by, let me check my notes, Lemon Gilson, which is about a theme park and the end of the world. Ah, hooray! Isn't that a great combination? Originally, when I saw the title of the book and I saw the plot line of it, I thought it was going to be something like Five Nights at Freddy's or Indigo Park. After I finished the book, I wish Five Nights at Freddy or any of the animatronics or I watched a lot of Indigo Park playthroughs because I just wanted Rambly to be an emotional support because I was just emotionally broken after reading the book. My gosh, emotional trauma? No, I was just emotionally broken. I kind of gave up on humanity with the book. That it fit perfectly, which is a shame because that support from the Weight of Blood author, who I have kind of problems with because it kind of missed the whole points and the clear aspects of, in my opinion, Clara from Stephen King, which is one of my favorite young adults horror stories about puberty and stuff. It's just weird. It's written by a dude that he did a spite, which as someone who's working to get certified in several languages for a spite, I can understand. I can admire. Anyways, what is the plot of The Getaway? So, it's about a park in Clapham County that is seemingly everything is perfect. One of the biggest things I love about this book is that the first line that the character Jay tells us is no one has died on Clapham County Park. And there's a joke that, people just die and then the employees take the body away. And so no one sees the dead body. That's really important for later on because it gets and it actually is great. I do absolutely love the aspect that line, nobody dies in the theme park, actually becomes a super clear part because who defines if you're a person and who defines if you're human and you have rights and all this stuff. Another thing, aspect that I love, because this kind of does rely on a lot of Disney park, the whole aspect where everyone in Disney or these theme parks are family owned, and every employee is treated humanely and really kindly. And they're not called employees, they're called crew members, which I believe is also the technical term that is used throughout Disney. It took me a while to find it, but I remember it's called crews. So each of the crew members, the workers, even the people in costumes, are called crew something. And Jay, who's the main character, is the janitor, and he actually really loves it because he gets to explore the park, and he gets to see much more of the park than most employees doesn't see, which is a really important part as a reader because you get to explore more of the park that you wouldn't get if you had a ride operator as an employee, as your narrative speaker, or someone who's in a costume. But we also get Connie, who is Connie, yeah, Connie's unique. I'm gonna talk about Connie in my review because Connie's is like, I think there's the one chapter of Connie that, like, just how much her disappearance, because, as I said, the world has ended. Like, the only safe places are kind of like where the governors have, like, given power and make sure everyone is safe, yada, yada, yada. Which is kind of like COVID in a way. It's kind of a commentary on COVID, but it's not. I don't want to think about it as a commentary on COVID because that has some messed up implications. But everyone basically thinks that the park and living in the park is one of the safest and only safe place you can be in the whole resort. Like, actually in the whole world, because the world is collapsing, which I really did like the fact that, unlike a lot of dystopian Hunger Games, it's not just the United States that's messed up. It's the whole world. Like, there is a lack of information about the world's involvement, which makes sense later on. You'll find out, like, why it makes sense. Like, why don't they have outside knowledge and stuff? But for everyone in this theme park, the theme park is like their safe place. And it's such a company town that, like, people talk about points. They get reward points for behaving in a certain manner, and they can buy things, but they can only buy things in the theme park. They have a school in the theme park, they have like a residency in the theme park. Like, my gosh, this place is getting so much money from the employees that, like, people could not visit and they could still have a ton of money. And then things get really bad. They don't get paychecks. They don't get, like, food, and it's, like, becoming much more difficult to, like, live. And they start realizing that this safe place is actually their prison, and they can't get out. And it's kind of impressive and amazing just how much suspense the author managed to create. Because you feel like you're in peace, and then there's, like, these moments of, like, okay, so Connie's gone. We don't know why Connie's gone. Her dad is, like, a really important employee for the theme park. Her dad is like the chef that, like, makes sure all the food is set up, and he's gone. He just decides to leave one day, and, like, they can't find anything, and they send Connie a message, and the response is clearly not Connie. So, like, they have to, like, find out what happened to Connie. Except things get worse and worse and worse and worse, and it becomes a survival plan for everyone who works in the theme park. And you just learn how much control there is in the theme park. So I'm going to put a little spoiler here. I'm going to put a time span on it because I just don't want to give it away completely. So if you don't want to find out, like, the twists of it, skip this part. Okay. So the spoilers is that the guy who made the theme park actually planned out the end of the world. Like, he caused diseases and war, which isn't really explained. But, like, you never find out how he did this. But he ended the world so he could make a profit for a doomsday cult. He's like, everyone spends a ton of money for doomsday preservation, but, like, what happens if, like, we could, like, set up a place for, like, the doomsday kind of scenarios and actually make the doomsday? Like, we don't talk about God or whatnot, we just plan out the end of the world. And we don't know how he happens, but, like, there's a scene at the end of the book where you, like, get told that there are bodies so high up, they're collapsing telephone poles. So, like, no one has communication outside. No one is safe. Like, we don't know how he did it, but he ended the world for profit. And that is so evil. Okay, that's the end of the spoiler. But basically, the more you get into the book, the more worse it gets. You're like, oh, this is bad, but, like, this is the worst thing they can do. No, it gets even worse and worse until you get to that twist that I've spoiled a bit. But, like, even that doesn't add to, like, the horror this guy makes. And what's kind of worse is that he has dementia. So whatever his plan was, which I gave away at the spoil what his plan was, he doesn't know how to end it, or how to make it worse, or how to help it, and he doesn't really care. Also, he's a real racist. He has dementia, but he can remember his family having slaves, and so he, like, will talk to black people, and he'll call them by his, like, servants' names, because, like, I don't remember if it was a servant. Yeah, like he dehumanizes. There's so much dehumanization in this book, but it's done in a way that is just realistically enough that it's more horrifying the more you think about it. Oh my gosh, there's like one part where they have like a bracelet where you pay, and I remember like working in like a theme park. I won't give them away the names because I just don't want to get talked about this. But I remember having a work pass to like enter in for a theme park, and my gosh, the dishumanization you feel while working there. I used to work in cleaning staff, so like I did laundry, and the amount of dehumanization you get treated as those kind of people is just the worst. Like for the first time, I we weren't given lunch until we finally had like a change in management. And they finally gave us lunch. Like, can you like? I don't want you to. I was working like 8 hours. I was dealing with chronic pain. I had this disability, which ultimately landed me from getting fired there because I just could. I can't keep a quality of work, which that's why there's going to be a week where I don't post because my disabilities just like make me forget that I have to record and I have to make outlines and I have to remember story, characters, and plots. Because there's like several of the last ones I didn't talk about the characters by name, so I have it set up where my computer, which you can't see because my computer's pretty old, has my character plots and the main characters and the plot summary and whatnot that I'm kind of like looking over. That's what that is. I'm looking at my plot. So, uh, but yeah, like it was just kind of horrible. Me reading it book like reminded me so much of like just how like inhumane a lot of these large companies feel, especially when it comes to amusement and stuff, and how just egotistical and like strong-handed like people work. Who visit? There's like they did a whole thing where like they literally told you how much money a visitor pays, and like because of that, you're told that it's your purpose to make that value worth it. And it's just like they know how much money it is, right? They want to pay for that. It isn't our fault. It's because you supposedly have the amenities, and like we should still be treated with respect. Sorry, I worked in a lot of service jobs, and it's just I don't want to think about it. My disabilities also didn't help, which is why I got fired a lot of the times. And yeah, no, like the book is really great in the sense that it like slowly sets you up to like just feel with this dread. And every time the story like hits you, it's so impactful and it's so powerful. I give the book like a 3.5 out of stars, not because it's not good. Like it's good. It's a good story. I don't get why they gave Connie like a point of view and like why the heiress who is adopt gets like a point of view, but like her things were not good enough, and I read it and it traumatized me, so it took 1 star away from it, and also Connie's POV and the heiress's POV kind of also took it away. But my gosh, the story itself is a treat that I wouldn't recommend you reading at night if you have nightmares. I have specific types of nightmares, which, like, if a character has a narrator speaking to them, that gives me nightmares because I literally had nightmares where a narrator would tell me how he was going to kill me. And no matter what I did, no matter how much I tried, I would always get the narrator would always tell me, like, oh, she can't escape me. They can't escape because they're going to be murdered. Also, the nightmare where I got like pregnant, or I was found out that I was married, and I'm like, that happened because I'm an asexual, sapphic person, and the idea of being married to a husband or having kids, like, so that was a nightmare. Also, it just indicated that I changed so much of a person that I could recognize myself, which, with mental illness, and mental disorders, uh, that's kind of a worry I have, that, like, my mental health affects me so much that no one will recognize me and just my mental health issues. But yeah, no, this book didn't give me nightmares, but, like, if you have nightmares with, like, realistic depictions of like wealth in changes in wealth and how like corporations treat workers like cattle, literally like cattle in this case, where like they have like shock bracelets. Any of the employees can shock them. That's not a joke. I kind of wish it was. Just kind of kick them in the butt when they do that one thing. That one thing. I probably will never look at like um what is it, water slides the same way again. Like I have a fond memory of, what is it called, that weird roller coaster at Disney, the one that's kind of like has racial undertones. I can't remember that one. What happens in that one in this book just like changed my whole point of view about that ride. I am kind of terrified of it now. And I love the fact that it like really got me to like feel so much intensity for the characters in such a really profound book. Again, I didn't like the change of point of views. I did love the fact that there's like little manuals to like talk about how the park wants their people to act, and like the gun things, and like the reviews were hilarious. I love the reviews. I even love the like the 1 point star review. That was hilarious. That also becomes much more scarier the more further you get in the book. But yeah, so yeah, that's my review of The Getaway, not The Arrival. It's The Getaway. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'm gonna release another reaction this week because I didn't actually record or upload one last week at all. So I'm going to do 4 reactions this week, and then I'll do 2 reviews the following week. So that way, all of that is set up. I might just do like 1 week, take a time to like just read about some like write down what I need to focus on, and then the next week reactions, and then reviews. So there'll be just one week where I don't record out anything, but then after that, I'll do this. Hopefully, again, I have disorders, so I can never promise anything. Bye. Okay, so let's do the outro, because I just remembered that no, it's called cast. Disney's are called cast members, but still, like the whole like, oh yeah, you're not an employee, you're part of the family. It's still a really important thing. So yeah, The Getaway. I hope you guys enjoy this weird, kind of terrifying book. I will show off the cover of the book. Oh, I don't. I don't have a Getaway cover. That's upsetting. It's not in my props. Darn you, prop. I did smile. I should have saved the prop. So The Getaway. I hope you guys enjoy the weird horrorness. I'm going to... Let me see what book I'm gonna talk about next. I'm going to give a reaction to, although I've read this one later on, I believe it is Fighting Your Neighbor. No, I put down Warren Martin Ruins It All by Amanda DeWitt, which is a great book. I love it because it's about an asexual, and I'm an asexual, and also he has chickens. And also anxiety and like grief. It's really fascinating, super interesting. Can't wait to talk about that one. Here it is. This is the one I want to talk about. It's sadly on like really below my list of my outline, but it's How to Fight Your Neighbor and Win a Wage by D.N. Bryant. I have the sequel on my Libby account, and I just need to listen to it. But it's about Vincent Bruce, who is a vampire who's basically homeless. As he's kind of homeless, has like no support of his family and whatnot, ends up like being so poor he can't buy blood from the black market. And Wesley Garcia, who is kind of dealing with the loss of his missing mom. So I can't wait to talk to you about my reaction to that book, but I'll just give a little spoiler. I enjoyed how like it really captures like how minorities are the first one to like be affected by rape, like just injustice, and like how it's unseen by anyone else except those who it touches personally, and it does it so great. Also, I love a lot of aspects of it. I can't wait to talk to you about it. I think I do have the cover of that one here, so I'm gonna end it with a prop of the next book that I'm gonna talk about. Oh, it's so small. I thought I got a bigger version of it, but yeah, it's Fighting Neighbors and Winning Wages by D.N. Bryans. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end of this reaction. I hope you guys come back for say 2 days from now. I can't take it all. Na, 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 na. Anyways, can't wait for you guys to hear about my reaction to How to Buy Your Neighbor and Win Wages. And then Warren Martin Ruins Everything, which is a delight. I kind of feel like I should have released that one on Valentine's Day, but well. Okay, anyways, bye. I hope you guys find a book that you like so you can nerd out about it as much as I nerd about these books. I hope you do. Okay?